Hey everybody, Ray Tiffany with S2S Outdoors. So summer's winding down, temperatures are dropping, a lot of people are getting excited about archery season and the upcoming hunt. One thing that looks like it's overlooked by a lot of people is the sound that your tree stand makes when you walk through the woods. You try to be as quiet as possible. Anything that taps your tree stand sounds like somebody banging on the cymbals of a drum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a quick instructional video on how to soundproof your tree stand and dull out those noises so that they sound more natural in the woods, because natural sounds don't spook game. So let's check it out. So here you can see we have a Summit Open Shot climbing tree stand that I just purchased. Now there's a few things that I want to point out. What we're going to use to soundproof this tree stand is some of this expandable foam insulation. It works extremely well for soundproofing. It's weatherproof and it just does the job real good. It's inexpensive. When it comes to most of your tree stands, obviously you have your cable tray chamber right here. All right, this will be where the cable comes out, goes around the tree right here. You do not want to soundproof this chamber because your cable has to go down this chamber when you adjust it to the tree that you're putting it on. So if you put foam in this chamber, you won't be able to get your cable in, and you'll really be struggling with trying to clear it out to get your cable system to work. You can take some tubing and fit it down inside this chamber if it's big enough for your cable system. Like here's the Summit cable system, so I would need tubing big enough to fit these knuckles, yet small enough in an OD to be able to get in here, and they don't make anything like that. So this chamber here we're going to leave open and clear. Will come in the front here, and there's an open channel that goes up into that chamber, so some foam will go up in there, but mainly we want to soundproof this base right here. As you can see, when I take just a regular stick, that's the sound that we get, and we're going to get rid of that. To get the reach that I needed, or that I wanted rather, out of my foam insulation, I just took some duct tape, and I have 2 cans of insulation, so I just duct tape both tubes together. That way I can get the reach that I want down through this. Now as this expands, it'll just fill this in, so we'll be good. I can't access from the front here, so we'll have to go from the back and get as far as I can. Then this trigger just unthreads off of here. I put it on the other can and we're good to go. So let's get spraying. Okay, here's my open shot. You can see I got it's starting to expand down there. This is the Specialist SD made by Summit also. I just wanted to point out, if you have these end caps on any of your tree stands, most of them come with them, you can just pop them out right away and put your foam in them, get them back in place right away. Because what that'll do is that'll force the foam then to expand down the chamber. Now if you look at this Specialist, it has C-channel in the platform itself, so we fill that in also. And then once this gets hard, we'll come back with a knife and we can cut this flush, get it nice and clean, and then we'll just paint right over top of that. This expandable foam paints up really well. It makes a huge mess. As you can see, I can't use this stuff without making a mess because it just never stops coming out of the tube. But once it dries, you just pick it up and throw it away, so it's really no big deal. So now we're just waiting for everything to dry up and get done, and then we'll do the finishing step. Okay, once everything's had a chance to set up just a little bit, doesn't take long. This stuff will set up within a half hour to an hour and be completely dry. I like to use an old fillet knife to trim it, as opposed to a saw, because a saw will tear, and when I want to paint, I want a nice smooth surface to paint and not a bunch of tear and pockets that need to be filled with paint. So we'll get cutting on this. We got our insulation all done. We're all trimmed up. I painted everything. I got this tree stand done. Got the other one yet to do. Check this out. Same stick I was using earlier. So there you have it. Completely soundproof. If something does fall down and hit that, it's not going to sound any different than any other sound in the woods. There's no hollow metally twang to it, and there you go. There you have it. that's soundproofing the tree stand 101 right there. It works really good. I think you'll appreciate the fact that you did take the time to do it. It'll take the frustration out of walking through the woods in the dark. When you're trying to be quiet, a branch will bop over, snap your tree stand, and it just takes that right out of it, so you don't have to worry. One thing I do want to point out is when it comes to painting your tree stand, don't be afraid, especially on the bottom of your platform, to use your whites and your grays and get some bright breakup in there. If you look behind me, that's all you see up in the woods. You see white, you see gray. You know, throw that in the bottom of your tree stand. You want the deer to look through you and not at you. There's a lot of guys that'll use the blacks, the grays, and just get that thing dark, you know, and it really stands out. Break it up, make the bottom of your tree stand look like the view from the ground. You can see it right now behind me. That is the view that a deer has from the ground. So again, I'm Ray Tiffany with S2S Outdoors. I hope this video helped you. I'm getting jacked up for the hunts coming up in just a few weeks. Good luck out there, everybody, and be safe.